Hello and welcome to the Mortgage Cadence Platform demonstration. We're going to cover workflow on our borrower point of sale, all the way from the initial borrower application through post-closing in the LOS. In this demo, we'll see how MCP drives high value within 7 user experiences from initial application to post-closing, as seen below. In our first scenario, we'll see all activities from the borrower first experience. We'll start off as a borrower explores products and interest rates, watch them create an account and finish their application, and we'll take that all the way through to them tracking progress of their application and signing activities on any device anywhere. As a borrower, I've landed on the homepage for Mortgage Cadence, a fictional lender in today's experience. As a borrower, when I first reach the site, I have the opportunity to explore rates, reach out, consult an expert either through this area here, or send a contact form to my lender Mortgage Cadence. I also can apply directly through a loan officer through the site. We're going to start off with the shopping experience on Explore Rates. I haven't created an account as a borrower, so reaching this page, I'm still able to go through and type in some information and see what products I'm eligible for and get an idea of interest rates. Upon clicking See My Results, Mortgage Cadence native product and pricing engine is going to pull up eligible products and the appropriate interest rates as they've been currently set in the system. Here I can explore and see additional payment details as a borrower. And if I'm interested, I can ultimately select a product and begin the application process. Now, it will prompt me if I want to get pre-qualified for a new purchase loan, or perhaps I'm buying a family residence or have a property in mind. Either option, clicking on it will prompt me to either create an account or log in through existing account credentials. We'll showcase what the account creation looks like. As a borrower, while creating an account, I'll be prompted to opt in for SMS text notifications. Text notifications will be sent out for a variety of different notifications from Borrower Center. We'll see some of those examples in this session. And I'm also going to be prompted to set up some security questions, so that way I can self-serve with username recovery or password resets. Through multi-factor authentication, I'll receive a text notification. We do, as a bare minimum, enforce multi-factor authentication for all of our applications. Starting off, the borrower is prompted here on this purchase application if they're going to be working with a real estate agent. In this case, our fictional lender, Mortgage Cadence, can connect the borrower with an agent, depending upon what they choose here. Afterwards, they'll be prompted and asked if they're going to have a co-borrower on the application. In this case, Alice First Timer is applying by herself, but this would also allow her to add any other applicants, whether they are joint borrowers or separate borrowers. Through the application process, with each step that's completed, the application will be saved. There's a total of 15 steps, and it will begin with borrower name, contact information that was filled out in account creation. Alice will add in her birth date and social. Fill out the other questions here. The next step will be around current address. Borrower Center does have smart validation for different addresses. We're using a fictional address for Alice here, so it will not pull up. And if I did happen to indicate that I had less than 2 years of address history, Borrower Center features some smart validation to prompt the borrower to fill out a full 2-year address history. On the fourth step, Alice will consent to have credit pulled, verification of assets through our integrated partner's account check or Finicity, verification of employment through our integrated partner, the work number, and consent to electronic delivery for disclosures and other documents. On the fifth step, I'll indicate my financial goals as a borrower. I can toggle between putting a set dollar amount or percent down here that will auto calculate, specify my proceeds for the down payment, and there is configuration around an address being set as TBD, so it does not trigger TRID validations on the loan, or if there is an address known, through configurable options, you can turn that on or off for all purchase type applications. The sixth step is where I can use a verification of assets. So in this case, I am going to try to verify details of the assets that I have. I have an account that I've used for the earnest money that I want to have validated with my lender. Now, if I saw this and I was unsure about this after seeing this consent here, I could always send a message to my loan officer and ask about this step. So in this case, Alice had a question about that. Just to be sure what this is for, her loan officer can send a response back and be able to support her through this decision. So Alice has sent a message to her loan officer and is going to move on with the application while she waits for a response. The next step allows Alice to manually add accounts before she's able to add those verified accounts. The next steps involve entering in other assets or any potential gifts or grants that the borrower is receiving, as well as any real estate that they might own. By the time Alice reaches step 11 of the application, it is here where she can verify the details that came back from the credit report that she consented to have pulled earlier in the application. Alice can take action on these credit liabilities here, and the results from whether it was a soft credit inquiry or hard credit inquiry, both can be supported, will load here. Similarly, with employment, verification of income and employment data will load for Alice. Some pieces of information will need to be validated by the borrower. If Alice had less than a 2-year work history, additional employment can be populated from the work number here, or Alice can manually add her employment history below. As Alice moves forward, she can answer declarations and complete those for her loan application. Now up at the top, we can see a message has come through to Alice. Alice would be notified with either a SMS text notification or email. And as we can see, the red message up at the top indicates that her loan officer has reached back out to her. And Alice can send a response here to her loan officer using MCP's Loan Notes and Borrower Center Loan Notes functionality. The loan officer will get an email notification that a new message has been sent to them, and they'll be able to view that within the loan file. After Alice completes all of the steps of the application, she'll have a review step to go back to any of the previous sections. And in this case, she'll go back to her verification of assets step to be able to complete that now that she's been able to speak with her loan officer. After validating, Alice can log in directly to her bank. And then Alice has the opportunity to select from different accounts that will be returned from her banking institution. The results of these accounts will then load into MCP and therefore Borrower Center, since the systems share the same database. Alice can finish and confirm the accounts that are being shared and verify the balances here. Once the accounts are successfully added, those will be added into her loan application. And Alice can then confirm the results of those verified accounts. Alice can take one more opportunity here to review the details of her application and then submit the application forward. So here, through MCP's native product and pricing engine, we're going to see results load of eligible products. A little bit more validated now that we've got a credit score, we've got debt to income ratios thanks to the verification of income, and we also have some verified assets. So selecting a product, interest rate will be a bit more narrowed down than what we saw in Explore Rates. And moving forward, we can see one more confirmation before submitting the application. We can also see a message has been sent in response from her loan officer here, thanking her for completing the verification of assets. Upon clicking submit, MCP in the background can run automated underwriting, either DU or LP, and then present the results of those findings to the borrower on their loan dashboard. After the loan has been submitted, the borrower is greeted with a loan dashboard that will display the current status of the loan, along with a progress tracker that will indicate where the borrower is at in their process, what future steps they have, and it will map directly from statuses in MCP. Loan details here will showcase fields from MCP, and being on a single database of record, as those are updated, those changes will be reflected here for the borrower. And they also have some tasks to take action on as a result of the AUS findings that have come back. You'll notice here a pre-approval letter was automatically delivered as a positive result of the desktop underwriter or LP findings that were returned. The borrower can review that pre-approval letter and share that pre-approval letter with their realtor or other parties involved in the transaction. On this application, a sales contract has been provided to the loan officer, so some additional tasks have been loaded. We can see the progress of the loan has advanced forward, and there is an estimated closing date for the borrower. They also have a task here to sign initial disclosures. Clicking on that will launch DocuSign, our integrated signature partner. And Alice can step through the signature process for initial disclosures. After completion of the signatures, the documents will load back into MCP, and they'll be classified accordingly based on the signatures and doc types that were received. Alice can also take action on some of the tasks for uploading documents on her tasking dashboard. Here we'll upload a copy of the most recent W-2. The previous application, the borrower had consented for verification of income. If there was a manual entry of employment or income, DU or LP would load conditions appropriately to add a W-2 or pay stub. Alice selects her W-2. And once the upload is completed, we'll showcase what happened to this W-2 later on as we get into MCP. Additionally, a borrower can also use their mobile device to do all of the same functions that we've seen so far. Let's take a look at the mobile experience as a borrower has a loan a bit further along in the process and has a closing disclosure waiting for them. Here, as the borrower logs in on their mobile device, they still have access to do messaging. We can see the loan that's a bit further along in the status. The progress tracker has advanced. And down below, we could see a closing disclosure that is waiting their signature. Clicking on Take Action will open DocuSign for mobile. And Alice can zoom in and out and sign the document. And just like that, it's done. The document will process, flow into MCP, and be logged as a delivery event for that closing disclosure being signed. And that is the conclusion of the Borrower First experience. Thank you for attending.